Evening and welcome to a Thursday edition of the Buddy Martin Show, Orange and Blue Bloods Thursday. And if you can't feel it today, I'm not sure you will. We'll talk tonight about the fact that this roller coaster going on in Gainesville, that the Billy Napier Express has really delivered big in the last couple of weeks. We'll talk about how it impacts people, how you feel about it. How do you feel about recruiting in general? Well, there's some discussion about that tonight. Topics will include that. Carlton Reese, very fine writer, remembers back when he first started covering recruiting. How does he feel about it now that he's in his 50s? Well, how do you feel about it? I always say, well, does it really matter that much now? After all, we got the transfer portal, we got NIL deals. How big is recruiting? Well, Florida did, by all assessments, quite well in their recruiting yesterday. The signings that we'll talk about some. Get your comments. We're going to have Franz Beard on here shortly, and also Ben Troupe tonight, and maybe Rob Brown, all coming your way tonight on the Buddy Martin Show. And big news about one of our sponsors. Glad to tell you about that. Titan MRI has some news. You're going to love it. Stay tuned. The Buddy Martin Show is on its way. Tell your friends and neighbors.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye!
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening and welcome to the show. Coming up in just a second, we'll get a word from our friend Carlton Reese. If you're not reading Carlton on GatorBaitMedia.com, you're missing out. Good piece tonight on Has Napier flipped a recruiting cynic? Well, we'll tell you about what that means. Also, tonight, we'll talk to Ben Troupe. Arlis Sportingham has hit the portal. A few have. It's not massive. It's obviously going to have happened. There's going to be a changeover. I don't know if you're counting. Maybe something gets 5 in the portal. No major damage. I'd like to have seen Sportingham hang around, but for other reasons he did not. But tonight we'll go over some of that and talk to you about what we've been hearing. The national narrative has changed quite a bit. Meanwhile, on national news, we can't keep up with the coaches changing, the portal opening, the recruiting, whatever. The latest is, this is more than a rumor, Bill Belichick is a name being mentioned in Chapel Hill. Bill Belichick, wow. Well, one time the GOAT of coaches in the NFL is now thinking about it, at least according to these reports. Inside Carolina was the first one to break it. It's saying he is now being, I guess, entertained as an idea as a coach to follow the fired Mac Brown. Speaking of fired, this is that season when people get fired. Just breaking now, the offensive coordinator at UCLA wasn't that long ago. He was a hot ticket in the NFL, coaching for the Chiefs. Eric Bieniemy, former Colorado Buff, after one season, fired as offensive coordinator at UCLA. Boy, how volatile. How volatile. Oh, it's just getting started. All right, here's the deal. We want to talk turnaround? Let's talk turnaround. Let's stop being mamby-pamby about this. If you examine it, and sometimes you're going to be careful to do your own evaluations. I say this all the time. Do your own evaluations. Write your own songs. Taylor Swift did it pretty well. Point being that Billy Napier believes in his own evaluations. Some people that think a 4-star is better, I'd like a 3 better because he sees potential. Do your own evaluations. And there's this whole thing with Billy and what's going on there. I talked to a very prominent member of the team tonight, talking about what's ahead. He promises there'll be other news tomorrow on the transfer portal. I see a few familiar names in there. You don't think ETN would be coming back, do you? No, that can't happen. Anyway, lots of things going on there. And the turnaround. The Athletic today had a really good, strong piece talking about Billy. Their words are, a month ago, following a blowout loss in Texas, Florida had committed at its last 11 commitments, and let me just say it again. A month ago, following a blowout loss in Texas, Florida had 11 commitments, and its class ranked 50th in the 247 sports composite. Things look bleak. Florida ended the regular season on the field by knocking off LSU, Ole Miss, and gutting Florida State, punctuated Wednesday by signing a class that includes 4 top 100 prospects and 14 blue chippers in the 23s. This is coming from our friends over at The Athletic. Fran Spears' column today was brilliant. If you want to have a good assessment of what it's like, where Billy's come from, I think it's one of the best things France has ever written online right now. And just one more note, Florida ranked 11th nationally and was the 8th best class in the SEC. Amazing. Miami ranked 15th nationally and the number 1 class in the ACC. So there you go. Anyway, what do you think about recruiting? Well, some of the old guys claim they still like it, or maybe like it more. Here's one of them. He's not quite as old as me, but he's a senior veteran. Been around the horn a few times. Our friend Carlton Reese. Good evening to you, Carlton. How you doing?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, good. It's a good, happy time if you like sports and you like upbeat stories and you like to see the good guys win one. I would say quantum leaps would be a phrase I would use for Florida and Billy in the last 3 weeks, by whatever standard you want to use, whether it's 11 flips in 15 days, whatever. But you, my friend, were kind of a cynic about recruiting until recently. What happened?
Yeah, you're talking about flips that Napier's making. I guess you can consider me one of them. I've always hated recruiting. I've always felt dirty about it, to be honest with you, buddy. And I people can read in my column coming up how back in the day, I remember when I was working on the desk at the Gainesville Sun, I couldn't stand signing day, and it was always in February. And just the recruitniks calling every 5 minutes, more so, what's going on with this guy? What's going on that? I'm played it down. Why are you so interested in recruiting back then? Was, what are the names of the guys that are going to be wearing the jerseys of the team I'm covering? That was where it ended for me, because I didn't trust that. How do we know these guys are going to be good or not? And there were many busts back in those days. It kind of track of what's not. A lot of guys pan out, but there have been some busts over. I mentioned one of them in my column, Lateef Travis. I don't know, remembers what. But that's, I always say, we'll talk about day, grown adults, all worry about where this 7-year-old kid is going to go to FSU. Their lives seem to depend. I hate it as much as anyone. I found myself in the last weeks paying attention to it like those old recruitniks back in the days at the Gainesville Sun. Kind of ashamed to admit it, but it was fun. I've seen anything like this before, buddy. Fun.
Yeah. I remember, speaking of feeling dirty, the first time I saw Florida flip a player is when Urban Meyer was here. Oh, and I thought, that's not sportsmanlike, That's the way we grew up. You can't get somebody else's players, That was just the beginning, and now it's a new art form. And even Billy said he wished there was another way. But right now, if you're going to, in the lifeblood of every program we know is recruiting, you got to do whatever you can that's legal and morally ethical, I guess. And it's kind of part of the game. So you got to recruit them about 4 times. You got to go out and recruit them with their kids in junior high and high school, and you got to get them aboard sometimes, and then you got to go get them if they go somewhere else. Then you have to keep getting the players to come back. Billy said his press conference, a long and very good press conference yesterday, where I actually heard him say that he wasn't going to practice full 15 days. I thought, what? A coach giving back practice days? I've never heard of such a thing. Amazing. But he said that it's such a important thing right now that he built his program on character, and people thought that was just mumbo jumbo, but that did help him in his whole situation. The great thing about this story of Florida is how they were able to maintain the camaraderie and this team bond in an era when nobody's told about anything, yet somehow they were able to do that at a time it was critical. Basically, we all wrote that he was and said he was a dead man walking, and here he's like actress. He rises out of this thing, has 2 huge wins, and of course beats up on his rival, and now is having a winning season. And I say it's the first winning season since 2021 to have a season. So it's good times. I think about good times. I think about how long can Gator fans breathe easy, because it's always tomorrow.
Well, until September of next year.
Well, Urban Meyer said he had an experience about that when he won his first national championship. He was sitting back in the empty locker room with his dad, and Earl Bruce is mentor. They were talking about what was going on. They were just exhilarated by what happened. And finally Urban said, "Oh my gosh, I got to go recruit tomorrow." Couldn't even allow himself a moment because that's how intense it is. So it is very intense. It is amazing. What was the thing that surprised you the most or pleased you the most?
A lot of the flips actually didn't surprise me when you looked at what was transpiring and how the kids were talking. I would say that the volume of it, how quickly it happened, is what surprised it. I mean, the one win over LSU and bam, 4 kids almost immediately. Hey, this is where I want to go, and then they repeated that against Ole Miss, and then 4 more kids decide this is where I want to be, and then they got a 5-star on signing day from Jacksonville, a defensive back. It wasn't the kids who flipped over that surprised me. It was just the sheer number of them. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I was a little surprised that they didn't get one of the big 3 that we talked about before. The receiver, Jamie French, I didn't expect him to go. He's got Texas NIL money after him, and Florida is not going to be able to compete with that. But Solomon Thomas, the lineman from Florida State, I thought he may go. I think that's an NIL thing too. I mean, if a kid is flipping to Oregon or Texas A&M even, you're not going to compete with that kind of money. I mean, Phil Knight, they probably have 10 times the amount of NIL money that Florida does.
Look at who's up there who got the most 4 stars. I think Oregon got 4. Texas. You see those big money schools are up there, top 4 or 5. But anyways, it's really it's a really good time now to sit back a little bit and enjoy this postseason. A lot of bowl. The last thing I heard, where's the Relia Quest Bowl?
Where's the is that Relia Quest?
Relia Quest. They said that's might be going there to play Michigan. I didn't have a chance to look it up. Can you look up the Relia Quest Bowl? Some of you folks.
Certainly. I'll bet you someone on your thread's going to get it before I do and tell us.
So there's people on there. Toby Permider's there.
That may not be the one. Is that the old Outback Bowl?
I don't remember. It would be perfect if it was. Who knows where the Relia Quest Bowl and what day it is? That's and playing Michigan. Playing Michigan would be an excellent game. Be an excellent team to play. So if you folks are aware out there and
have played a lot of Michigan in bowl games. It seems like
Michigan because it's probably something to do with the Relia Quest is the auto business. Probably.
Yeah, it looks like that's in Tampa. Used to be the Outback Bowl.
That's what it is then. Okay, what's the date of that then?
I think it's going to be coming up. Well, let me check here. I think it's a December bowl.
It is. It's not a pick 6. It's not a 6 year 6. It's because Allie Peak said last night the Gator fans coaches were looking forward to being home for the holidays, and for Christmas and what have you. So I'm not sure the date. Anyway, that's where the latest rumor is. Let's do this. Let me tell you about some big news for one of our sponsors. We'll be sure and tell you folks about this.
New Year's Eve, buddy.
New Year's Eve. Okay. New Year's Eve. Well, it is a 2024 bowl, that's for sure. It's a night game, probably, right? Yeah.
Let me go back.
No,
I would assume.
Yeah, we'll find out more about it later on. I thought one of our star listeners would have gotten that. Mark Fillion says, yes, Outback. So, yes, thank you, Mark. Let me just tell you about a Titan MRI. They've been a very, very loyal, the newest sponsor for us. They've been terrific. We got some big news tonight about Titan MRI. You've heard me talk about them here. They're now Titan MRI and Imaging. Acquired High Field MRI there in Gainesville. Joe Colorio started High Field MRI in 1997. Now he's back. Titan MRI and Imaging now has 3 locations. 2 in Gainesville, which Park Avenue location, and the Millennium Center, and 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County and Valdosta, Georgia. Titan MRI and other imaging officers, the same great customer service. They now accept insurance. That's new, and they also will have you give self-pay options. Here's the other good news about them. They're planning to come to Ocala and Marion County. Titan MRI Imaging, Titan MRI, the name of the company now is something it's called, let me get it right. Titan MRI and Imaging is coming to Ocala with another location to serve you. I'll give you the details on it when I know more. But they are known for making a really easy connection with you. You don't want to go to ERs or hospitals. You want to go get your MRI done someplace. They do it. They can make an accommodation nights, evenings, whatever. They're going to better serve Marion County, surrounding areas soon. So take note. Titan MRI Imaging. It's your choice. Appreciate that, guys. Your local sponsorship. All right. So I think we got Ben Troupe in the house here someplace.
Yep. Oh, buddy, that's a noon start, by the way, in that July question.
Good. I like it even better. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let's go see. Here's a guy who's real happy about the Gators. Not very happy, however, about Artis Boardingham, who we wrote a bye-bye note to today. What's up, Ben Troupe?
What's going on, man? I mean, how you guys doing? Carlton, how's everything? Mr. Reese, how's everything, man?
Great, Mr. Troupe.
Yeah, I will say this. We talked about it, buddy. We talked about it, Mr. Reese. The product on the field makes recruiting real easy, don't it? I mean, how different life is 3 weeks later when, you got, guys. Well, I think we took both DBs from Tennessee. I mean, we was able to get a whole bunch of homegrown guys from the state of Florida. You go from what, in the 50s to what, top 10 or number 11 or something like that. I mean, Billy Napier said it, though. I mean, I think Paul Feinbaum was interviewing him. He was saying, listen, man, reality's changed real quick, though. I mean, I understand what we're doing right now on momentum, going 75, but the unfortunate part is the transfer portal. And obviously, Artis Boardingham being a tight end at Florida got it, definitely, I thought would be here for 4 years when you look at how he kind of burst on the scene a couple of years ago. But when people say, why do players leave? They know what's coming. They've been in these programs long enough to know, hey, while I would love to be here, I can see what we're recruiting. I can see what we got coming. And I be wishing these guys the best. I don't want to think that these guys don't want to compete. That's why they leave. Sometimes, man, common sense got to be your greatest asset. And I got to be able to say, do I want to stay here? And potentially, Keon Zipper is a great example. I know he got hurt, but I don't know what people say. If I'm a senior, unless I'm a senior and I'm a backup quarterback and the guy in front of me just better than me, I get it. But if I've been a starter and now I got to go compete for my starting job again, which essentially you have to do year in and year out, sometimes you just see what's coming in and you say to yourself, hey, let me see how much greener the grass can be somewhere else. So I'm wishing those guys the best, Boone and a whole bunch of guys. But we still got guys like Cam Jackson who about to graduate, gonna play in the bowl game. I think it's some great things going on in Gainesville right now. I'm just happy to be because like I say, I don't want to throw salt on the wound. But there's a team in the state of Florida that's on the panhandle. If we did that, if we went undefeated in 2023 and won 2 games in 2024, everybody's gone. They're gonna tell they're gonna get rid of me, they're gonna get rid of Buddy, everybody. I don't want to talk about the Gators, I'm gonna get rid of everybody. They're gonna be no more Gator Bait, 84 reasons, and all kinds of weather. Nothing. But for right now, we got legacy players like Vernell Brown.
Yeah, how about that?
You know, like I was out, me and Vernell
Hanks. How about Ben Hanks, man?
Ben Hanks. You remember a time to where we kept saying with the players that had family ties, he'll want to come here. Well, look, Miles Graham, right? I want to say Thaddeus Bullock's son is there, even though he's a preferred walk on.
Right.
You got Khalil Jackson. Now you got you got Banks. Now you got now you're talking about Vernell Brown Jr. Vernell Brown the third. It's a different thing going on. I will say this: if Emmitt Smith's son is coming out in 2024, could the momentum? I get it. I get it. You got legacy. Listen, Kelvin Taylor went here. His daddy, Fred Taylor. I mean, come on, build your own legacy. But I'm just happy for all the guys that did sign. Billy Napier. Say what you want to say about him. He can recruit. I mean, he can recruit. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach because he is. I know he's loving the momentum right now. But Billy Napier's been here long enough to know Mr. Reese and Buddy. Man, I ain't finna start getting on my high horse. I had a great 3-week run. You talk about LSU, you talk about Ole Miss, you talk about Florida State, 5-0 with DJ Lagway. But we said it, Buddy, and we said it, Mr. Reese, this year, and after the bowl, you want to win the bowl game. This bowl game is gonna matter. You want to go 85. Going into 2025, they're gonna have a lot of hype. Florida is going to have a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be, especially the QB. I mean, DJ. They're talking now about the great battles of South Carolina, and they're going quarterback. How great it's going to be.
Now their quarterback is like he's exciting. I'm not gonna say he's not exciting, but come on now, we biased down here.
Lagway is, I mean,
no, he is.
Comments I'm hearing, guys, from out of state of people who are just seeing him this year in the last few weeks. These are not people connected to Florida or the SEC at all. I heard a guy today say on Rob's show that he has no doubt in his performance. In fact, he's the coach now, I think. He said at the D1 level, he said Lagway is going to win the Heisman Trophy someday. This is somebody else saying it, all right? Not Buddy saying it or Carlton or anybody else. It's somebody from not around here. So he's got some run going on here. And here's the thing about that they say, Carlton, is that we haven't scratched the surface yet with this guy. That we know that there's a lot more there where he comes from, and he, by the way, he looks pretty good on one leg. How will he look on two? And the throws that he makes are the things that are amazing, Carlton. I mean, this guy makes throws off the wrong foot, the wrong place, sidearm, underhand. He's just amazing what he has done. And the other part about him is so good. He's the consummate teammate. He really gets after and gets with his teammates, never takes any credit, always give others credit. And consequently, he's a guy that was bonding his team, and he's helping recruit. So they got a magnet there in DJ Lagway, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's kind of a quintessential Billy Napier guy, too, in terms of the type of kid he is. He's not just a talent. He's more than that. He's a leader. He's not a boisterous guy or anything like that. That's the kind of guy that Napier wants. I do have a question. You're talking about the legacies. Is there another Gaffney coming down the pike at some point?
Listen, when I think of some legacy, I would love to see another Gaffney come through. I would love to see
Absolutely.
another Harvin come through. I would love to see another Pouncey come through at the offensive line. I know we had the receiver DB type Pounceys, but I just think that when you talk about the University of Florida as a whole, a guy like DJ Lagway, what you appreciate the most is the things that you can't coach. I mean, when you are as great as a player, I mean, he was a National Gatorade Player of the Year, and it's easy to come in and say, "Hey, man, follow me because I'm me." No, he five starts, 5-0, 5 wins, and when he comes out and says, "I'm a help recruit," players I saw somebody say on here he got the nice deep ball since Rex Grossman. I played with Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman wasn't a rah-rah guy. He let his play speak for him, but I am happy for Florida as a whole, especially Billy Napier. He's saying all the right things, but it makes life so easy when you get the players you want.
Is there any chance for us to see another Tebow come through here?
I would love. Listen. I don't know if I know Tebow's married. I don't know if he has kids yet.
No, he ain't
I don't know if he got some brothers and some cousins.
Here's a guy who knows about all this. He knows the whole story. Right now, he's been so busy writing today. By the way, let me just say right now, absolutely brilliant column today by Franz Beard assessing Billy Napier, where he is. And Franz did a yeoman job yesterday, going to the press conference, asked Billy probably 5 or 6 questions, then doubled down, went home and take care of his mom, came back to the basketball game and watched him beat up on Virginia after a slow start, and then wrote a brilliant column this morning about where Billy stands and how good this is. And hey, Franz, it's as good as it's been in a long time, and it happened so fast.
Well, what's interesting is that a month ago, Billy Napier and the Florida Gators were dead men walking, not just dead man walking, but dead men walking. We had a number 51 recruiting class. DJ Lagway was hurt. We didn't know for how long. We had Texas coming up, followed by LSU and Ole Miss, and it was, doom and gloom had set in. It's funny what a month can do for you. Look at this. Look at what has happened in this last month. He's flipped 12 guys from prominent programs for the most part. The class is number 11. He could add one more guy, which I think could happen tomorrow. This kid, Onis Konabani, who is committed to Tennessee but hasn't signed. Got the portal going strong. Look at what happened today. The 2 best receivers from Kentucky, and they're both big time players. One of them is Barry and Brown, who ran a kickoff back 100 yards against the Gators, and he's run 5 of them back for TDs in his lifetime. He's got a year to go. The other big receiver from Kentucky's there. I got to think that every good receiver in the country who has a year or 2 of eligibility, who has caught Sports Center and seen what this kid can do with the deep ball, is saying to himself, if I come spend a year with him, he's going to make me a bunch of money in the league. They're going to want me. They're going to sign me to a big contract. That's what I believe. And I got to tell you what, this kid, whatever it is, he has it. And he's changed the dynamic. And it goes a step beyond that, though, buddy. You just hit on it. DJ Lagway is a clone in so many respects of Billy Napier. I mean, I think they share the same brain. They think alike as far as character stuff like this. This is a kid that's in church every Sunday morning. Doesn't matter what time the Gators get back from their road trip. He's in church Sunday morning. Just as high character as it gets. I met his dad at the airport a couple Sundays ago, and his dad's the same way. Chip off the old block. I think these people, I think we're on to something here. Everybody's got talking about these me first cultures. And here's Billy Napier building it the old-fashioned way, the team-first culture, and I think it's going to pay off. I think it really is going to pay off in a very big way.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend Freddie Weeby today about things going on down at Spurrier's. By the way, that national coach of the year thing will be coming up in a couple of months. We'll talk about that more later. Talked to Coach Spurrier today. We're going to have him on next week. He's heading down on his Heisman trip, go to Hall of Fame and what have you. And Spurrier is still talking about his suggestion they should swarm the swamp. And and he kind of resents, although he didn't say it, the fact that people poke fun at him about it. But as I said to him, well, the head coach didn't poke fun about it, and the players didn't poke fun about it. They thought it was pretty cool, and it's something that had a little bit of an impact at that time when you're drowning like that. And Ben, you know a little bit about that, not much. When you're looking for somebody to throw you a lifeline, to have a former coach stand up for you and say, "Hey, if they beat LSU, then swarm and stomp." Well, we say, "Oh, we don't do that. We're too good." Why are you so good, Florida? You ain't done jack in recent years. Whatever it takes, if that's what the head ball coach wants to do. But anyway, he was very pleased with the response he got from the players and from the head coach. And Billy appreciated it and told him so. So you're all pulling on the same tugboat. You're all reading from the same hymnal. And in the end, friends, and Ben and Carlton, that is really what it's about, singing from the same hymnal. You can get all these wonderful 5-star guys and bring them in. We've seen it, friends, back under with Urban. And if they're not the same, don't have any kind of camaraderie as teammates, it don't do any good. Because what has held this team together is that mysterious quality that they had, the ability to dial out the noise, listen only to what was in the building, and Billy controlled the narrative. And we were out here saying, "Oh, they're losers, they're dead men walking, they can't play." They weren't buying into that. And they, as a result, were able to turn this thing around. And let's call it what it is. It is a turnaround, Joan, a turnaround.
Well, I got to tell you what, I'm as impressed with what has happened recently here as I've been with just about anything that's happened in the last 8-10 years here in Florida.
I agree.
I think the reason that I'm so pleased with it, guys, is because we're not seeing the police blotter. Every Monday we're looking to see how many guys got arrested over the weekend. We're not reading all this stuff. We're seeing guys that are good citizens, and I know for the previous 2 years, a lot of people were saying, "Give me some of that good old rock and roll where everybody was. Give me some of that good old rock and roll where everybody was in trouble, but we were winning games." I think Billy this year probably did as much to really emphasize that you can win with good kids as has been done in a long time. Will Muschamp, I thought, did a good job with good kids, but he lost to Georgia Southern. Yeah, you can't lose to Georgia Southern.
Yeah. And Billy, by the way, knows there's more to be done. He said in the press conference yesterday, or was it today? I forget about it. We know there's more to be done, but I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit specious for me when I see people come on and say, "Well, yeah, you won a couple of games. Y'all are ready to make him a national hero, build a statue." No. When you're that far down, Ben, and you're just grappling for anything to hold on to, and suddenly if somebody turns a switch and the players become a team and you build a bond, that is the essence of all coaching. And that, my friend, is a brilliant job of coaching when you can do that.
It is a brilliant job. I think sometimes when it comes to the analysts and the columnists, when everything is going bad in Florida, they got a lot to say. And when things turn around and they win not just 2 out of 3, they win 3 out of the last 3, they don't know what to say. Because when you start talking about resumes as a whole, right? As a whole, when you talk about Florida had the hardest schedule in the country. Without doubt, they had the hardest schedule in the country. Every team they lost to is either going to the conference championship game, had a chance to go to the conference championship game, or they're going to be college playoff teams. Nobody else can say that. They didn't lose to an unranked team, and they had a true freshman that started 5 games and won all 5. No one else in college football can say that. And I think the thing about it is sometimes, let's call it what it is. Billy Napier pissed a lot of people off because he's not underperforming. See, when he was underperforming, the same old Billy, right? SoCon Billy. And when he don't, the Sun Belt Billy, when he don't do that, they don't know what to say. Paul Firebaum wasn't trying to interview him when he was losing.
I'll
But
call
he
you back.
wait till he goes
Go visit with
75. Hey man, tell us about the. And I think that's the thing. That is the DJ Lagway effect. But to me, the two players that we're gonna remember the most in the Billy Napier area thus far is Montreal and Graham Mertz. What they did. Montreal, obviously the best running back on the team. When he got hurt, he didn't make waves. Graham Mertz gets hurt and said, "Look, I'm gonna still mentor this young guy." That's the kind of stuff that you're gonna remember the most. Dan Mullen's era. What I remember the most about his era, Felipe Franks passing the torch to Kyle Trask, didn't make waves about it. That kind of stuff goes a long way because it's hard as a player to know that my time is up and I still got eligibility left. That's hard. Anybody say be a good teammate. Yeah, it's easy to be a good teammate when I'm playing. Yeah. It's hard to be a good teammate when I got to watch. Exactly. So I'm very impressed with those players for doing that. But no matter what, DJ Lagway proved this. I don't care how good of a coach you are. I don't care how good of a coach you have. If you ain't got the QB, it's not gonna work. Exactly. And he got the QB. He's still building the coaching. You go hit 75 with this schedule is about as impressive as as Alabama being 9-3 right now.
Yeah,
it's just as impressive when you look at what they've done. Look, ain't nobody saying they're gonna be a college football playoff team, but I said that they go 75. That's coach of the year type stuff, and I got laughed at on X, which I don't care. Kirk Herbstreit comes out and says the same thing. People are like, well, Kirk, I can kind of see it. I'm just telling you, it's because it was Billy Napier and people are shocked. He got some get back against LSU, should have beat Tennessee, got some get back, kept Ole Miss and LSU from going to the college football playoff. Miami is 10-2 and ain't going to the college. I don't get it. I mean, I watched Florida State go 12-0. Don't get to go to the college football playoff. I watch a 10-2 Miami. They don't get to go. I don't know what's going on.
South Carolina, by the way, playing the best football in America, is not going to go. Let me jump in here real fast and say I have two questions to address to you guys. And, it's the element of picking yourself up off the ground. There's some people who, like Van Der, who always wants to say it's not going to happen. That's fine. You can have your opinions. I understand it. The fact is that I think the smart money is that Billy has turned it around and has continued to do so. And I want to ask you your opinion. This thing that won't go away about they need a play caller. Okay. Let's address that. And we'll come back and talk about this ReliaQuest Bowl. Freddie says, bring it on. He thinks that'd be great. Let's talk about somebody else that's been bringing it on for quite a while. Renstar Medical Research, who, of course, is owned by our friends there. We've known for a long time Joe Sorrentino. His son Joey has a dental practice there now. Went to see him last week. Great young player, great young dentist, Marion Dennis. And Joe's partner happens to be Mary Brantley, wife of Scott Brantley. All the best to Scott, who's had some weather, had some medical problems recently. He'll be fine, hopefully. And they are bringing it to you because they want you to know the importance of data. They want you to take part when you can in one of their clinical trials. This is how they get the information. They can go to these companies to be able to tailor-make the proper kind of medication for us in our area. So you can go to Renstar.net and check it out. You can be a part of one of these clinical trials at no cost to you. You might even get paid time and travel and go and take part in it. Not hard to do. Find out more about you, about us. Do a favor for yourself. Do a favor for our community. Do a favor for our people in the community who are trying to get better. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers for the health questions of today. All right, guys. Let me rapid fire a couple of questions, okay? I want to start with you, France, to go to Carlton and go to Ben and give me about 45 seconds on this. Does Florida need to make a change as a play caller?
I don't say they have to. I don't think it would be a bad thing if they do. I think, Urban had a heavy hand in the play calling, but he wasn't the play caller. That was Dan. And it allowed Urban to do other things. So I don't think it would be a bad thing, but I don't know that it's going to happen.
Carlton.
I would like to see a change made there. But as it stands now, how much communication is there with Billy and the guys up in the booth that maybe it is a collaborative effort to begin with. I've been watching and listening to a lot of the Florida State media, and they're flabbergasted that any receiver would come to Florida with this type of offense that Florida runs, no matter who the quarterback is. They're not impressed with DJ Lagway. It's really funny to listen to the desperation over there, but I do agree with them that it is kind of vanilla what Billy does. I'd like to see him spice it up a little bit. Maybe as the personnel improves, you'll see that. Maybe having a different guy call the plays is what they need.
All right. What about a general manager, friends?
I'd like to see a general manager come in. I would really like to see. I want to see Mark Pantoni come here. Is what I want to see. I don't know that he would, but I've heard rumors that if the offer is right, he would do it. And it doesn't get any better than Mark, and he's a Gator for one thing. And he was the brains behind those great recruiting classes with Urban.
What do you think, Carlton?
Yeah, why not? It's a professional sport now. We need traveling secretaries and directors of player personnel, general managers. It's a different ball game. Recruiting is not like it used to be. There's an element of it that still harkens back to the old days, but it's transfer portals and NIL, and it's even dirtier now than I used to say out on signing day. I used to have to take a shower when I came home from work. It's even dirtier now. I don't like it, but yeah, bring in some other guys positions.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, you would definitely want to have a general manager. You want to have a person. I mean, I know a person. I mean, I don't know if he would come out the booth to do it, but I think a guy that would be excellent is Kevin Carter. I think Kevin Carter would be an excellent general manager for the University of Florida. I mean, he was a teammate of mine with the Titans and the Bucks. I've never seen a guy that plays the game that understood business away from the game like him. I've never seen it. And as far as like the OC, yes, we need another OC because you need another set of eyes. And I think the thing about Billy Napier is when no one has the answer to me and I'm the play caller, I need a young play caller that can say, "Hey, coach, listen, you got influence on me, but you've been calling plays pre-spread era, now present spread era." And sometimes your play calling doesn't really go with the personnel that you have. Get another guy in there, and it'll make you a better coach when you don't got to do as much. I mean, they pay you to be the CEO and overseer of the whole team. You don't got to focus on one side of the ball like that. So I think it'll actually make Billy Napier, take less stress off himself.
I want to know about this. What's the one thing that's changed for you in terms of how you think Billy coaches? What do you think you might have been wrong about that maybe Billy was right about? And do you think this is going to change or help things in the future? I'm going to go first here. I'm going to go first and say I've thought about this whole thing. I've always been against the idea of having an offensive line coach as your offensive coordinator. I've always thought it should be a guy who's going to be in the huddle with the quarterback. Even my good friend Ed Kinsler, you remember him, friends,
Yeah.
Dear friend of mine who was offensive line coach and became the offensive coordinator. I still thought that, the guy who should be in charge of the offense should know what the passing game is about more and the receivers. But let me just say one thing on behalf of Billy that I've learned. And my knowledge goes from back in the days with Terry Bradshaw, who taught me back in the day why Pittsburgh was so successful. It's a simple thing, but the play action pass was the key to everything Terry did. And you can't have a play action pass successfully if you can't do what? Run the ball. If you can't run the ball, you can't have the play action pass. And so this is the essence of what Billy does. That's why he had Rob Sale, whether you like him or not, whose job it was to open up the running lanes. That's why he has 3 running backs. That's how we've seen him be successful, because once that opens up with a guy like Lagway, those lanes open up, those routes, and magical things happen. So I'm not saying that's the only thing. I'm kind of understand Billy as he is, why he puts so much emphasis on the run, the ball first, so he can pass the ball. That's one thing. You guys got one?
Well, one of the things that I like that he has done very much so. And I used to think that he was too passive. And from what I understand, what we see in the media and what they see on the practice field are two different things. Now, he's not a yeller and a screamer, but he knows how to get his point across and get it across in a very firm fashion. Uh, you don't have to yell, you don't have to scream to be assertive. And I used to think that maybe he was too passive. As I have learned, he's very, very assertive with the practices. He's very, very assertive in the meeting rooms, etc., like that. And that's something I like about him. I did not know that. I thought because Florida was losing the two previous years, I thought it had to do with him being too passive. But I've been told that that has not been the case.
Carlton?
Nothing specifically, just in general, what impressed me was that this team got better and faced adversity, tremendous adversity, and improved. And I think when that happens, when a team gets better as the year goes along, that happens because of good coaching. Norvell had the chance at FSU to go from bad to better, and they went from bad to worse. That's poor coaching. So I lay that on Napier. I also want to say that I'm still not waving the Billy Napier banner. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced he's not the guy. But this was a great 3 weeks for Florida, but it's still a small sample size, a small snippet in time. If you've got to do it over the course of an entire season, and that's next year. If they get off to a slow start next year, then he's not the guy. I'm convinced that maybe he's someone who maybe gets a team to gel and keeps them together and they improve. But those games in weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, they count in the standings just as much as the ones in November.
Okay, I want to say this, I'll load to Ben, but number one, who would you have gotten? That's my big thing. They had nobody, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And secondly, there's a lot of money on the table here involving this thing. Number three, did he have enough time to do it right? Well, that you can debate that all you want to. Number four is everybody wants to judge Billy when he does something next year. Let's take this year, what has taken place. I've been around sports all my life, and I've been around football all my life. I've seen a lot of football games, and I've known a lot of football coaches. This became one of the great coaching jobs I've seen in college football. It almost was about to collapse and become one of the worst. Talk about a turnaround. So I'm saying, look, Scott Strickland now, like my friend Freddie Weeby said, maybe he's the athletic director of the year. If you look at his body of work, basketball team, what's going on there, the baseball team and the track team, and then you take it. They're a winning football program, guys. They are a winning football program. I dare say, when you start saying, yeah, but he haven't done this, no coach does it all. No coach has everything. Talk about what's in front of you, what you see with your eyes and ears, what transpired. What I've seen has convinced me did the right thing. And let's see. Give him a chance. Ben, give him a chance.
What I've been the most impressed about with Coach Napier was Coach Armstrong and Coach Will Harris. Because obviously when he hired Coach Armstrong, people were like, this dude's too young. I don't think he's going to get it. And then obviously he bring in, this time last year, you got Captain Chaos. You got supposedly the best DB coach in the country. Got rid of them both. I let go of Captain Chaos. I let go of a DB coach. You bring in Coach Will Harris. And he was able to get that back in. Even with us and those guys going out, he was able to get that back in playing some big-time football. And I think with Coach Armstrong, the jury's going to be out on him because they're like, dude, we can't get off the field. You're going to go back to last year with Mizzou, fourth in a freaking mile. And they got it. They converted it. You bring in Coach Will Harris, and he got them DBs playing well. So for me, it's Coach Armstrong in the defense because the offense was playing so well. The defense was playing lights out. There's some guys made a lot of money these last 3 games of the year, especially on that defensive line. But for me, Coach Armstrong in the defense, Coach Will Harris in that back end, because the thing about the offense, it's the same offense, except DJ Lagway says, Coach, I love you, but I don't dink and dunk. I'm from Texas, and we let it go. I'm for real. It's like if you want to find a quarterback in high school, go to Texas. They breed them boys. And I remember after DJ Lagway first started, I said, look, it's the same offense, same player, same scheme, same team. Only difference was he said, hey, yo, Badger, well, you ready? Yeah, let's go. Airing it out. So Coach Armstrong, Coach Will Harrison, obviously, I was extremely impressed with how he kept the team together, because I'm telling you, the easiest way to lose the locker room is to lose games. The easiest way to win the locker room is to win games. And he found a way to get that done. And like I said, when you got a 19-year-old, I don't know if you're 19-year-old, as the play caller, it's easy to go out there and get it up. So listen, I'm with Carlton now. I'm with Mr. Reese. I'm not gonna wave the Billy Napier flag, when I'm at the house. But if I'm in public, because I live in Georgia, oh yeah, it's Billy Napier all day. And all I'm telling them Georgia fans was, just remember this: it's 6 minutes left in the game. We are tied 20-20 with a third string quarterback. I'm not saying we win the game if we got DJ Lagway. I'm saying y'all don't win the game if we got DJ Lagway. But we'll see what happens in 2020.
Yeah, France, where in the heck did that defense come from? You've been talking about it all year long.
I
showed up. You heard about it today.
I think when Ron Roberts went to the booth, because he is the author of the creeper defense. When he went up to the booth where he can see the entire field down below, and with you got to remember something. This is a guy that has been around. He's got 34 years of college coaching experience. This is a guy that understands and knows trends and so forth like that. And I just feel that we've had two young guys who've called the defensive schemes the previous 2 years, putting the guy up there that's been there and done that, who really changed everything. Lauren and I were talking up in the press box in Tallahassee, and he looked at me, he said, they're seeing ghosts. And this is what Sam Darnold said about playing a Ron Roberts defense. He says, you start seeing ghosts. You start seeing a guy coming this way. And while you're looking for the guy coming this way, the guy that's coming is coming in from the other direction. And when I watched that poor freshman quarterback for FSU, he had no idea where the blitz was coming from, and it came from a different angle every time. And he had no idea who was coming, when it was coming, how it was coming. All he knew was there was a really good chance he was going to get hurt.
Yeah. Carlton, it went from being an embarrassment of a team that can't get the right number of players on the field to a team that was able to stone Ole Miss, a big 300-pound special run back, twice on 4th down and 1, 3rd down and 1. This is a completely different defense, Carlton, than what we've been used to seeing.
Yeah, when you're playing with confidence and you trust your coaches and what you're doing, it's amazing how results kind of follow in place. I mean, I think those two stops against Ole Miss were indicative of the difference in coaching.
Yeah,
between Lane Kiffin and Billy Napier.
Agree with that, and Ben, I think you do too. I mean, that was a remarkable job of stopping a play that worked everywhere else. Everybody else, but Florida stopped it.
Yeah, football is fun, man. When you're doing what you're supposed to do. And football is easy when you know what you're supposed to do. They used to tell us that. Listen, when what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to do, you're gonna be hard to beat. Not saying you can't be beat, but yeah, Florida defense. I mean, look at these recruits we got. If you Tennessee right now, you are heated. You're like, wait a minute, we beat them. Got both of their defense that's supposed to go there. And like I said, Florida peaked at the right time for recruiting. I don't know if recruits are watching early in the season. They got their games going on. But Ole Miss, Florida State, LSU, and against Ole Miss, I don't know if they told the players to do this. They get that last stop. They run to the south end zone, and all the recruits there, with all the recruits sitting there, and they going up to them, dapping them up. Friends, you know this. If I'm in high school, and here come DJ Lagway and Cam Jackson, coming my way, dapping me up, I hope I'm going to Florida at that point, because some of those guys didn't realize, hey, man, I don't know how serious Florida is about me. I'm telling you, those players, as much as we want to talk about the NIL and the transfer portal, and all them guys get it. They know, hey, man, what sells in any school? The players.
Yeah.
The players know what sell the program. And when they got that last big stop, I feel so bad for that kid from Ole Miss. He's 325 pounds. Yeah. You couldn't get 1 yard?
Yeah.
You can't fall forward.
Fast because he's just rolling in Memphis. He's got to come in the house like a hero. Probably hard for him to talk. Rob Brown from the sideline. Hear you and your whole house there.
Man, I got back in from Memphis. We got a fire going in there. It's going down to 21 tonight. But I've been listening to this conversation. Carlton in Ocala, Ben up in Savannah, not Swainsboro, Franz in Alachua County, Buddy somewhere in the Panhandle. But I want Ben to be my witness. Remember, we were picking the Gators. I picked them 8-4. I didn't pick all the games right, but what you just said is so true. They're peaking at the right time. And again, I'm looking at Florida from a rival school's perspective. All these years, Florida's not supposed to ever be less than 9-3, 10-2 in football, based on the talent that they have. And you talk about.
Oops. I think we know where that was going.
There we go. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, we lost you.
Okay. Well, Matt Dean was on the show this morning. A friend of ours is on the show every Thursday. He was on Monday as well this week. His son Tyler is on the staff at Oregon. He spent 4 years with Jimbo at A&M. That's not what they call Jimbo in their house, though. I'll just tell you that. And now he's in his third year with Dan Lanning. Wow, they're doing some amazing things out there. And then you look at the program.
What did he say about Florida?
He said Florida, same thing. Top 10, top 12. You saw, I have not seen a school flip 11 guys in about 10 days of that quality.
11 and 15.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. And so the point is, I think, and Brendan talks about the size of the Gator fan base. It's massive. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of Gators out there. Maybe there's not just a Phil Knight or, Larry Ellison, the founder, the CEO of Oracle. And, they're moving their headquarters to Nashville. And
more money.
Yeah, but he's the one who got involved, his wife, with Michigan. But I just think Florida, again, y'all are you're honest at least. If you're going to criticize Billy Napier, you say it. And if you come back and say, here's why. But friends and Buddy, you've told me this over the years. Historically, Florida has had the largest media following of any team in the Southeastern Conference. So there's a lot of people that care. Yeah, that's unheard of today. So, yeah, they're peaking at the right time, Ben. And that DJ Lagway, who the hell wouldn't want to come play for him? You'd be an idiot not to.
All right, we got about 2 seconds here. We're going around the horn real fast. Right now, do you think that the playoff system is working? And what change or changes would you like to see it made? We've got about 15 seconds apiece. We're going to start with Ben over here and go with you and go around the horn. Ben, what would you like to see changed, and what doesn't work on the playoffs?
Well, what I would like to see change is the fact that, listen, you either your regular season matters or it don't. I mean, I don't want to listen. Alabama was the wild card when it was the BCS. Alabama was the wild card when it's 4 teams. Now Alabama is the wild card when it's 12. The regular season either matters or it don't. I'm just saying. Tuscaloosa said, listen, Coach DeBoer, Coach Saban, It don't matter if we got a shot to get in, they're gonna get in. It looks like they're gonna get in again. They don't have to go that ladder to do it.
Yeah, the head coach at Ole Miss ain't happy about things. I can tell you that.
No.
And South Carolina's coach said a few things about it today, and yet they make a point, friends. If the difficulty of the schedule doesn't matter, why have it?
Well, here's what I'd like to see. I personally, I like the chaos that we have. I thought it was good when we had 2 people butthurt because they didn't get in. Now we got 10, and I think it's even better with 10 people sitting there crying and whining. But here's what I'd really like to see.
Love
Got
it.
8 conferences, have 8 conference champs. They get in, have 8 at-large teams. It doesn't matter from which conferences they are, but you got 8 of them, 16 teams. Nobody gets a bye. Everybody plays.
All right, what you like, Carlton? What don't you like?
I think it's working. It's designed to crown a champion. I don't care about the teams on the fringe that don't get in and cry. When your conference do something, it's not. This thing is designed to get the best team to win it all, and the team that's 13 or 14 that's thinking they should be in, I don't have any sympathy for. We're going to get the right champion this year. That's what I think.
All right, Rob, I don't know. It looks right now they got a ways to go, but they might pull it out. And I will say one thing: the quality of the football games is a big exception.
Yeah. Well, just be honest. Do the regular season matchups matter, or is it just the teams that are the hottest at the end of the year? Just give us some clarity. And we're going to have General Clark on the show, maybe the 16th on our morning show, the chairman of the playoff committee. But just be transparent, because I have to be in what I do. Full disclosure. That's all we ask.
There you go. Guys, great job, buddy. Go ahead, Ben.
No, I'm just gonna say full disclosure. You remember 4 years ago when Gus Malzahn was talking about UCF is on the same level as Florida State, and Miami? Where did he go? Where is he at? I'm just saying, everybody get mad at these players for leaving, right? Yeah. And he said it's gonna go from the Big 3 to the Big 4. If you can't beat them, join them. I'm just saying. Just because he did a beautiful apology, he was just talking about UCF. Hey man, we're gonna be on the same level because they got that Mickey Mouse national championship down there. He got to get it.
Okay, it's all fair and love and war now, guys. It's hey, great job, fellas. Appreciate it. All of you. Thank you very much. Enjoyed the program. Much. Good night, guys. Thanks. All right, we're gonna wrap this up and tell you about our friends that. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. I forgot to tell you about my friends at Jeffrey Meldon's place called Meldon Law. They are certainly a key sponsor for us. And I wanted to say that I'm so happy to often share the podium with Jeffrey. He's such a good person through and through. He and his son do a dynamic job in running Meldon Law. There are 4 locations to serve you there now. Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, now in Williston. If it's about law or about Florida football or Florida sports, I got to tell you, you got a chance to score some great tickets. All you got to do is go to their website at Meldon Law and keep an eye out. Hard to find tickets like gymnastics, which are coming up. You can get them there and you can win them easily. So check them out. They want you to know also, if you have a case to have reviewed and you'd like to have someone look at it, give you at no charge, give you a look-see to see if maybe you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or maybe you got the wrong person handling it. They are there to take care of that too. Meldon Law, they don't back down. Check them out. Okay, I want to say good night to you folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we're done for the weekend. We'll watch a little ball this weekend and back at you on Monday. Same time, station. Great shows this week, and great job by folks who, don't forget, subscribe to the show, and also go and subscribe to GatorBait, GatorBaitMedia.com, a place where all the good writing and the good writers go. Thank you.